Hi friends, it's Gwen. Today I'm going to do another rapid reviews. Today I will be reviewing We Were Liars, Living Dead Girl, and Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. The first one I actually have a physical copy of, and that is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I received this copy from Danny Darling for Christmas and I'm in love. So this book actually won the Young Adult Fiction Award, the Goodreads Award for 2014. And yeah, I've talked about this before, wanting to read it, and I finally got it and I read it because it's really short. I think it took me like a day or two to read it. First of all, if you do not know what it's about, it is about an exclusive family that owns this private island, and the grandfather is the patriarch, and he has built his own house for him and his wife, and then he has 3 daughters, so he built each of them a home on the island, and every summer the families come out to the island and stay there during the summer. And basically it's 3 cousins and 1 friend of the family that are the liars, and they just talk about their summer adventures. And then one summer, I think it's summer of 15, the main character ends up having an accident, and you're trying to find out what actually happened. Things that I loved about this book were well, first of all, it's beautiful. The colors are just very summery, and then inside it has the bubbles or the lights, so I really liked that. And then I also loved the map of the island, and I did find myself referring to this map as I was reading the book, and they were describing certain parts of the island. So this is the Beechwood Island, and this is the Claremont house, the main house, and then each of the daughters have their own house. So it's right off the coast of Martha's Vineyard, so kind of like the Hamptons is kind of what I was picturing in my head. And then furthermore, they have the Sinclair family tree. And of course, I love the little house illustration. So Harrison, Claire, and Tipper, and then Carrie, Bess, Penny are the daughters, and then the cousins are down here: Johnny, Will, Mirren, Liberty, Taft, and Cadence. And of course, this is following Cadence, but she mainly goes by Katie in the book. So again, it was really good. I loved it. I think this is like a summer read. If you haven't read it by now, definitely pick it up, read it in the summertime, or read it anytime really. I just think it's a really good summer story. It involves mystery and coming to terms with difficult things that possibly happened. And I gave this story 5 out of 5 stars. The next 2 books I'm going to discuss I actually picked up at my college library, so I do not have physical copies of them, but I will be inserting some pictures for you. The first one that I want to talk about is Living Dead Girl, and that was written by Elizabeth Scott. I have never read anything written by her, and I'm not entirely sure if she has any other books. I certainly hope so, because she is an excellent author. I had no idea what this book was about. I picked it up purely based on the cover and then reading the description or the little synopsis. I think it was inside the front cover or on the back. And there was a blurb by, I'm not sure the author that wrote the blurb, but they said that it was a very difficult book to just continue reading. They said, you know how you always don't want to put a book down? This one you have to put down. And that is 100% authentic. I felt the same way. It was a creepy book. It is about, the Goodreads description is when Alice was 10, Ray took her away from her family, her friends, her life. She learned to give up all power, to endure all pain. She waited for the nightmare to be over. Now Alice is 15 and Ray still has her, but he speaks more and more of her death. He does not know what it is she longs for. She does not know that he has something more terrifying than death in mind for her. This is Alice's story. It is one you have never heard, and one you will never ever forget. It only took me 1 day to read this, and I am super shocked that I read it within 1 day, because as the blurb on the front cover said, it is a very difficult, haunting book to read. The story follows Alice, and you really never find out her name until you know, towards the end of the book, and I'm going to try to do this without spoilers, but she goes on a field trip with her class, and I think it was like an aquarium or something like that, and her girlfriends are arguing because she doesn't want to share her lip gloss with them, and they're mad at her, so they kind of walk off, and she's kind of walking around by herself. She gets separated, and a man sees that, Ray, and he takes her, and he does so, he doesn't just like kidnap her and run off with her. He does so in a very slick way, but he's had her for 5 years, and obviously she was very young when she was taken, and Ray is a pedophile. He's very sick and twisted and methodical and controlling, and it's very graphic, you guys. This was considered a young adult book. I'm kind of shocked about this, that it was young adult. It was pretty graphic, and it was very scary to me. Yeah, but it was beautifully written, and it's hard to kind of form the words, the thoughts that I have for this book because it was so disturbing, but at the same time, it was an amazing story. I'm glad it was told. And yeah, so if you're gonna read it, be prepared for that. There are parts that are so disgusting that you're just like, wow, really? But yeah, it's beautifully written, 5 stars, excellent. The last book that I'm going to talk about in this rapid reviews is Aristotle and Dante, Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I heard about this a while ago on somebody's channel on BookTube. Don't know who it was, but I really didn't know a lot about this book, but it was one that when I saw the cover, I was like, oh yeah, I've heard about this book, right? So I picked it, and I figured, no skin off my back, I'm not purchasing it, I'm just borrowing it from my library. If it's not good, then I can just return it. So I went into this book not knowing really anything that was about. I did not know that it was an LBGTQRSTUVW novel, but it is another young adult book. And it is another summertime book. It's really like the boys of summer. The Goodreads synopsis reads, Aristotle is an angry teen with a brother in prison. Dante is a know-it-all who has an unusual way of looking at the world. When the two meet at the swimming pool, they seem to have nothing in common. But as learners start spending time together, they discover that they share a special friendship, the kind that changes lives and lasts a lifetime. And it is through this friendship that Ari and Dante will learn the most important truths about themselves and the kind of people they want to be. So, as it says, Aristotle, is sitting at the swimming pool in the summertime, and Dante just walks up to him and is like, hey, do you want me to teach you to swim? And Ari's like, okay, like, whatever. And they kind of become instant friends, and Ari's kind of the person that doesn't have a lot of friends, but Dante is too, even though everybody that knows Dante likes Dante. And they do go to 2 different schools. Dante comes out to Ari and tells him that he is gay and that he thinks about kissing boys, and Ari is like, oh my gosh, are you serious? That's so crazy. It's kind of just, you know, talks about their friendship and how they bond, and they like to read together, and they like poetry, and it just kind of talks about their friendship over the course of a couple summers. And it's a really great book. It's kind of a coming of age, summertime, boys of summer book, but another highly recommended book from me to you, another 5 stars. So those are a couple of other books that I read this month, and I will be doing another rapid reviews to cover a couple of other books. But if you would like to know any more details or like a more in-depth review, please let me know in the comments below. Ask me any questions about these books in the comments below. But that's it for today. I'll see you next time. Bye.